This is the Australian Mobile DJ Podcast. In this series, we'll talk to them, get to know them, and learn from them. And here's your host, DJ Bevo.
Yeah, right. This time we are in Noosa and we're catching up with a lady by the name of Niki She's a DJ and also a vocalist, and you can see her pretty much anywhere in Australia at a venue near you. Sometime soon, hopefully. Niki thanks for joining us on the Australian Mobile DJ Podcast.
Oh, thanks for having me.
You are most welcome. I am fascinated with your brand, Niki Is that your name, or is it a brand or a stage name that you came up with?
So it's a stage name. So basically, I started DJing in Paris, and I was needing a name. And my sister-in-law, she was visiting me, and we're walking around the streets, and she's like, "That's your name." I was like, "What?" And just up at the National Gallery, there was a big exhibition of Niki So it's Niki
Oh, okay. So you got to say with the French accent. In Australia, we say Niki In France, you say Niki
Niki the T's silent. So, and then Fela. So she was a really famous 60s pop artist. She was half American, part French, part American. So Niki Fela is her name. And I was like, what? That's not a DJ name. And my sister's like, drop the Fela. It's Niki
All right.
That's pretty cool. So that's how it started.
For the rest of the interview, you will now be called Niki
Niki
And let's ask, do you enjoy a good croissant?
Oh, yeah. Try not to have too many, but
it rhymes.
Who doesn't?
It really rhymes, and it goes with the whole French package. That's for sure. Let's talk about this amazing DJ career of yours, because you've built this amazing online profile, unlike anyone I've ever seen. So you must have a bit of a good background with digital marketing to create this brand.
I'm hopeless.
Really?
I'm telling you, I don't even think I'm very good at it. I just think that maybe I don't know. Maybe just DJs don't do it. I don't know. But I don't have a background in that. So I'm a musician, and I feel like I'm pretty hopeless when it comes to that side of everything. I wish someone could kind of do it for me.
Well, anyway. I think you're doing an amazing job. Hence why you're on this podcast, and you've made an impression on me. So the vocalist side of things, does that mean you actually do breakdowns and songs and sing along with?
Oh yeah.
The tunes?
Yeah. So, yeah. Like, I have my percussionist who we do gigs, and even as a trio. So my brother is a DJ as well. So he's incredible. So we do lots of shows, and I'll sing, he'll DJ, and we've got Kilogram on percussion, and then bass players jump in, and so it's a really live thing when we have the budget to do events, and that's how we like to do it. But
otherwise, it sounds like you got a full on band ensemble as opposed to just you up there doing the DJ thing.
Oh, totally, yeah. And that's probably my background in coming from being a session singer and vocalist and working with bands all my life. So kind of fell into DJing later on.
Oh, let's talk about your background as a session singer. I'd love to hear about that.
I started when I was 15, and I was just lucky because my boyfriend at school, his dad was one of the top composers in Australia, and he came to a band rehearsal because we had a band. Of course, when you're 15, you have a band, and he heard me sing. He's like, "Do you want to come down to the studio and do some jingles and things?" So I ended up leaving school at 15 and became a professional singer, which was kind of nuts. And this is down in Melbourne, because I grew up in Melbourne. And so, I was singing TV commercials and jingles and a couple of vocals for film, because he did a lot of score work. And his name was Peter Sullivan. So it was at Sully Music down in South Melbourne. And from there, just like doing backups, singing backups, and writing songs. I was really big into writing songs at that age, and just always kind of singer-songwriter thing. So, yeah.
So was this long before Australian Idol and The Voice and all those TV shows?
Yeah. Like, we didn't have anything like that.
Is there any commercials that we might recognise your voice on?
Yeah, Big Cheese. Vitabrits.
Can you give us a couple of lines just on the phone?
Let's see. Better by Diga.
Hey, there we go.
Hey.
That's taking it back.
and what was the other one? Vitabrits up and Adam Vitabrits.
Oh, yes.
Adam
Yes.
Vitabrits.
Oh, my God. This is awesome.
Yeah.
My childhood relived in one episode of this podcast. It's fantastic.
How nuts, huh?
With your DJing style, how would you describe it?
Oh, I really love. I love bass. I'm such a nut for a good bass line. So, I do all sorts of things because I tailor. I do a lot of event work with the DJing stuff. So, you're kind of setting a mood, setting a tone. And when I first started DJing, I was doing a lot more underground kind of art house stuff that was really, stuff that you wouldn't hear if you turned the radio on or pretty underground. And then moved, and that was kind of my bag for a long time, like just, pretty cool, elusive DJ, just doing my own thing in the corner. But then I just realised, just started getting into the music so much that I can't help. I'm like this little show performer. I can't help myself. I just can't stop. As soon as I hear a song that I love, I'm just bopping away. So it kind of, what I love to DJ now is more, I love a heaving dance floor and tracks that just, you can't help but groove to. So,
what gigs do you do most of?
Events. So before COVID, my last gig was the Grand Prix.
Oh, yeah.
And then, so we got the VIP night in, which is the Glamour on the Grid, which is the big night to launch the Grand Prix. And then the next day, the Grand Prix is open to the public. So we got that one in. And then, I think the next day they called it that they were cancelling the Grand Prix. So lucky to get that in. But usually, kind of, I've just fallen into doing the big events, which has been really, amazing. I don't know how, but it's just been really cool.
Is there any cool bars in Noosa that you often play at, like a residency type thing?
Yeah, Rococo.
Oh,
and Le Calais. So Le Calais do like this beautiful kind of lunch once a month. So, Paloma and myself will kind of go back to back and do that. But Rococo, I've got a little residency, and it's such a vibe there because it's like al fresco. You feel like you're in Europe, and they love their music. They really love their music. So it's like you kind of you're not standing in the corner playing to no one. Everyone's really vibing it. So I'm actually playing there today, doing another afternoon session there.
When it comes to other DJs that have influenced what you do, and who do you aspire to? Who would you name in that list?
Oh, look, I love Peggy Goo. Like, I think these female DJs, they're just fantastic. Like, she's a lot, like, her style of music's not my style, but I just love, like, how you said to me before, you brand yourself really well and stuff, and I just think, no, I don't, compared to who I watch, who I love. So Peggy Goo's a big one. The Black Madonna, so the chicks are really awesome, but I really love Crazy P, which are a band, but they've Hot Toddy, who's from Crazy P, does all the remixes on their stuff, and it's just, I really love that. So it's got that, vocal and the bass, and it's got that live element, and then the remix down. Just, that's my bag.
Yeah, with your background in not only live performances but also being a session singer, do you find yourself making your own beats at home?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got an album. Well, I've got an album coming out next year. So I've before COVID hit, I was in Melbourne. We probably had another 2 weeks to go until we finished the whole album, but had to get home. The borders closed in Queensland. It was like, oh no, better go. Lucky I did. I would have been stuck. But so the album, I've got my first single coming out in December.
Oh wow!
So we're shooting a video clip in a couple of weeks' time.
Okay.
On the sunny coast, and that's with a really fantastic director, Timothy Birch.
Yeah.
And the good thing about COVID is kind of like kept me home.
Yeah.
And I've met all these insane people on the coast. Like, it's such a, I never knew it was such a crazy cool hub of so many talented people in all their different fields, and we're all kind of getting together and creating things, so it's really exciting. So anyway, yes to that question. I do write music, and I'm about to release my own stuff, which is really exciting.
Who have you met locally that you want to name drop?
More so like photographers, directors, jewelry makers, like designers, like all within the arts world.
Yeah.
That kind of like, which is what, we especially when you're going to do a music video and you need. So, I've had a girlfriend of mine, Alex Maring. She's a fashion designer, so she's made me this crazy cool jacket for the shoot. And then I've got someone, like everyone, this new jewelry designer who I've just met. She's making the jewelry for me. It's just crazy. I love it. That's the brilliant thing about COVID. It's opened my eyes on what's in my backyard.
Yeah, there's something about the Sunshine Coast, especially Noosa, that attracts a lot of Victorians like yourself. So are you finding that a lot of those people are from Victoria or not?
Actually, no. I find that, no, I think a lot of them are coming up from Sydney.
Yeah.
And I like, as a kid, we lived up here and we lived down in Melbourne. So my parents were kind of gypsies, so we would always be, they could never make their mind up where we were going to be. So we were kind of moving a lot. But
well, I think you picked the right state this time, considering what's going on in the world.
Oh my gosh, so blessed.
So COVID's hit, things have slowed down a little bit for you, and gigs on the horizon. Have you got a couple lined up?
Well, the funny thing is, COVID hit and everything shut down. And then once everything started to open up again, and in Queensland we're really lucky, I've been so busy. And I never thought I would be busy through this time, but it's just been such a little hub up here and everyone's loving it. And a big gig that's happening next month, which is pretty cool, is down in the Valley in Brisbane. And it's a virtual experience. It's like, it's insane what these music promoters can come up with. And anyway, it's a takeover. So it's the Ovalo the Valley, which is a really cool hotel in James Street in the Valley in Brizzy. It's called the Remix Hotel. So it's a concept. It's a festival, but it's a COVID-safe festival. So you buy a package for the weekend. So it's a weekend stay. So it's the 9th and 10th of October. And you've got Queensland's top DJs playing, and then in 4 different areas, VIP areas within the hotel. But then everything's being streamed to your hotel room.
Oh wow!
And then headlining is Groove Armada.
No way!
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Groove
epic.
Armada. Yeah, so I can finally say, my name's on the same bill as Groove Armada.
Yeah.
They're my gods. I love them.
And
Marshall Jefferson.
Put that in your flyer. On the same flyer as Groove Armada, excuse me, on Niki Descent with a croissant.
I know. Oh, you got it.
Hey.
No, how cool. So they're being streamed from London, and then we got Marshall Jefferson from Chicago and Jason Bye from Ibiza. So it's all being streamed back to, Brizzy, the hub, and we're all interacting, and it's going to be, so that's really exciting.
Yeah, well, excuse me, someone's making a big name for themselves in DJ circles, that's for sure. What's on your rider? Do you have like essential oils and only special vegetables from exotic locations?
Oh no, just tequila and water.
Oh, you're easy. That's only $30 a Dan Murphy. That's $30 a Dan Murphy. Oh, no, the good stuff, babe. The good stuff. Oh, okay. So what are we talking here? What's the top
There's
shelf?
There's going to be a worm.
Oh, the worm. Okay. Niki Desant, thank you so much for joining us on the Australian Mobile DJ podcast. Absolute pleasure to have you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
The Australian Mobile DJ podcast was hosted by DJ Bevo and produced by Matt Fulton Productions.